Hey guys, welcome to the Touchdown Table. I'm Ryan, that's Tyler, that's Jordan. And with the draft now a month away from the day this comes out, because this comes out on March 29th, the draft April 29th, it's time to do some quarterback rankings. We've done these, some of us have done these on our podcast, but now it's time to reveal them to the YouTube world. So our top 5 quarterbacks in the 2021 NFL draft, we're going to talk about them, have an open conversation, but now the wait is over. You get to see all of our respective rankings for the top 5 quarterbacks in this 2021 draft.
Anyway, let's get started here.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna be talking about each one. First, our rankings are gonna be at the end of the video. Jordan, do you have rankings prepared?
Of course I do.
Okay. Ryan and I have watched all of the quarterbacks. Jordan is still in that process, but he says he's got rankings ready to go. So we're gonna talk about each one, then we'll compare them. I say let's start with Trevor Lawrence. Obviously, with him, he's a presumptive number one pick for the NFL draft. Got a lot that goes with him. He's got a big frame. He's very consistent, very precise with his passing. You could go on and on about Trevor Lawrence. I mean, it's pretty clear that this guy is going to be at the top, if not right next to the top in the draft. Trevor Lawrence is great. That is tough to deny. You guys add on to that for Trevor.
Yeah, I mean, you said a lot of it. I mean,
it's kind of simple.
It is. We don't need to overanalyze it too
Yeah.
much. But I just think that with him, the key is, the consistency. He's had such a great college career, played in 2 national championship games, won one of them. But really, it felt like even the past 3 years, whether it was, if he was draft eligible last draft, he would have probably been the number one pick. If he was draft eligible the draft before that, he very well would have been the number one pick because he's just had a great, consistent college career of winning.
Yeah.
All the traits that Tyler mentioned and more. I mean, the arm strength, the clutch ability, got experience playing against the best teams on a good team under the lights, high pressure situations. He's really been in a lot of those situations that some of other quarterbacks in this class have not been, and that's something that could translate very well in the NFL. I think it will. I think he's ready on day one to presumably be the starter of the Jacksonville Jaguars week 1.
Yeah, most NFL ready for sure. A really great player. I think his running ability is something that people don't recognize as much because I do think he's a better athlete than he'll get credit for. But on an NFL team, he might not be running as much. But as you guys explained, throughout these past few years, he's just been dominant. He's been the number one guy, really no question in anyone's mind. And now there are some questions you'll hear at the table, of course, in our rankings. But he's, as Ryan said, consistency has been his thing. He's been competing at a high level, and he is getting it done. I mean, he is the most NFL-ready player in this draft, and that's why all of us across the table believe that the Jaguars will draft him at number 1 overall.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go in no specific order talking about these guys because I don't want to give away our rankings. So let's go to Trey Lance next, kind of the opposite of the spectrum. I mean, not much playing time from him, but you see the talent there. He's got a great arm, gets the ball out quickly, very much so accurate. He's able to be mobile. There's a lot to like from Trey Lance. I think it's just the experience that is something to look out for, but that will come in time. With the 49ers trading up, to me, at least, it looks like that's a play for Trey Lance because I don't know.
It better be because if you're making that play for Zach Wilson or someone, you're not going to get him because I think the Jets will grab him.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I when I saw that news for the trade, my first thought was Trey Lance, and now that I'm kind of talking right now, I'll just kind of continue. I like Trey Lance a lot. He impressed me on tape. Yes, the inexperience is a concern, the level of competition is a concern, but honestly, why I'm so high on him, it's not necessarily because of what he is right now, it's what he can be. Like he was in an offense that ran a lot. And he only started 1 year. So like what we saw from him, that's just barely scratching the surface. If he gets in a great offense, like a Kyle Shanahan type system, maybe gets to
I think that's the perfect
I think
fit
it
for
is.
him.
Maybe sit behind someone, whether it's like Garoppolo or if he goes to like Carolina or something, maybe Bridgewater, sit behind someone because he is young. He is not that experienced as some of these other guys we'll talk about for the remainder of the video. But I'm very high in Trey Lance, and I think that the athletic skill set is there. The playmaking ability, the decision making is pretty good. No interceptions in the full season he started in 2019. A lot of things, like there's not one reason why he can't be great. So I'm really looking forward to watch Trey Lance in the NFL when his time comes to start.
Yeah, for him, it's going to, like you said, it's going to be the team that he goes to. If he goes to the 49ers, I think he could be at the top of the list for these quarterbacks. It's just for me, and I'm going to get more into it later, the experience is a bit concerning to me, especially since he didn't play last year. His pro day, he looked good, but that's just him throwing with no defense around him. But he's got the talent. I just think he's got to develop it, and if he does, this guy can be an absolute stud.
Yeah, he's a really great athlete. really good running the ball. He's got a pretty strong arm, like we've all said. Not much film on him, so that's the question about it. And I like to watch a lot of film on people when I have the chance to do so. And with Trey Lance, it's tough because he hasn't played a lot and all these factors. So it is tough if you're the 49ers, you're trying to go up and trade for 3 for someone that doesn't have a lot of film on him. You better be really confident in his athletic ability. He certainly has that, and we'll see where he ends up falling on draft night.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about the experience, but at least he does have experience in big games in that conference that he plays in.
Yeah.
And ESU, he went undefeated with them, so
Yes.
you can't get much better than that.
Maybe he'll be like Carson Wentz.
Who knows? All right, next one. Let's move over to Justin Fields. Like I said, this is no specific order. I'm just picking them, and then we're going to talk about them and put them in our orders in a bit. But with Justin Fields, 2 years ago, it looked like he was definitely going to be the number 2 quarterback. There's a lot of people that are still saying that. There's a lot to like from Justin Fields, but I know for me and Ryan, at least, we have our concerns with them based on what we saw last year. With his decision making, his arm could be a bit stronger, could be a bit more accurate at times. But for the most part, he's able to make some Deshaun Watson type plays where he rolls out of the pocket and can make something out of nothing. There's aspects of greatness there, but there's also aspects to be concerned about. So that's basically my general synopsis of Justin Fields.
Yeah, and some of those concerns, I think, are just what happens when the pocket collapses, or, sometimes there's some poor decisions when he gets under pressure and when he should just throw a ball away. I feel like he forces an unnecessary risky throw that results in an interception. We saw that in the Northwestern game in the Big Ten Championship. We saw that against Indiana in that game that they had in the regular season, that they had a big lead, but then it ended up being a one-possession game. So with Justin Fields, the arm talent, I think, is there. I think the athleticism is definitely there. Just some inconsistencies and some decision-making concerns that I have for him. But I think he's the first-round player, and I think he's a guy, if developed, could still absolutely be a solid starter in this league. Just some concerns. But there are some things that I do like about him, but I know Jordan will get into that, so I'll leave that to him.
Yeah, well, I think it's just a bit unfair that the season that we're all looking at, I'm sure NFL people are looking besides this season on Justin Fields, but the season that we'll be watching on tape and that we've watched on tape is that the season of COVID where Ohio State started late and they really didn't get much of a rhythm going. Now in that first playoff game, he played really good, but they never really had a fantastic rhythm going. And Justin Fields really, besides those first few games, which by the way I think everyone's forgetting about, he played great in those games. Remember that, and then they hit a rough spot in their schedule against some good teams. But he really started playing great. He showed his abilities, and I do agree that Justin Fields might force some balls, and he might do what we talked about with Carson Wentz last year, the Philadelphia Eagles, now with the Colts, the hero ball, as it was coined in Philadelphia, something that they hated from Carson Wentz, and I feel like Justin Fields has a bit of that in him, so that is a concern with him, but I like his athletic ability, just like I like Trey Lance's ability. I think that I'm not too concerned with him running too much. I think he can navigate the pocket well. I don't think he's going to be a starter immediately in NFL. I think he needs to sit for a bit, but I think if he has the time to sit and develop and really learn the ways of the National Football League, he has a shot to be great. Size is also an issue, but there are some small quarterbacks in this league. So I think Justin Fields has all the potential to be great. He just needs some time, some more development, but he competed at a high level at Ohio State, playing in some playoff games, playing in a national championship. And the Big Ten is not too shabby a division to be playing in.
You got a lot more to say about Justin Fields than I thought, Jordan. Let's keep going on. We'll go to Zach Wilson next. Zach Wilson, the guy that I love, and I'm going to get into it more later. He's just so fun to watch. Very consistent. You can talk about the level of play as well, but even so, you watch the throws that he makes, and he could be playing against Patrick Surtain, and he can't do nothing against those throws that Zach Wilson is making. He's had experience. This year, he made a big step up. He's been consistent. He's able to run. There's not much I dislike about Zach Wilson. He is a bit smaller. He's got a smaller frame than Trevor Lawrence has. But I really think Zach Wilson can be great. He gives me those Patrick Mahomes-like qualities. I know we're going to be saying that for a long time in the future. But seriously, Zach Wilson gives me those vibes. If I could compare him to one person, I would probably pick Patrick Mahomes.
And I'll pick somebody else to compare him to. I see Josh Allen. I've seen those two comparisons thrown out a bunch.
He's smaller than Josh Allen.
Exactly. Yeah. I was going to say that. He's got a smaller frame than Josh Allen for
Trevor
sure.
Lawrence is more
but
like
it comes
Josh
down
Allen.
to the arm talent for me and just the type of players that they are, the situations that they're in, both at small schools, Both have really great arm talent. I know that they're not the same size. They don't have just that same frame as I mentioned before, but that's not the only comparison. Just because people don't look the same doesn't mean they could be the same types of quarterbacks. I think that Josh Allen and Zach Wilson are going to be very similar. I think when Zach Wilson first enters the NFL, if it's with the Jets, with whoever it is, I think he's going to need some time to develop, just like Josh Allen did. But he's got fantastic arm talent. I think he'll need to develop, seeing some better defenses. Not that BYU didn't play, they played the worst teams, but they certainly did not play the best teams like the SEC teams or the mini NFL, as you might call the SEC.
Only a matter of time.
Exactly. So I think that
Yeah.
I lost my train of thought.
Took longer than I expected.
Me too, actually.
What?
I was thinking about it. No, nothing.
anyways.
nothing.
So
We're having
going
another
back, to,
conversation.
going back to the
I wasn't going to do it.
the arm talent and just the situations they're in. Both small schools, both have really great arm talent. I like Zach Wilson. I think he has the potential in the future to be the best quarterback out of this draft class. I mentioned earlier that Trevor Lawrence, most NFL ready, but with proper development, I think that Zach Wilson could be the best player in this class.
Yeah, just to add on, Zach Wilson is great. He really impressed me on tape, and I know people have concerns about the level of competition anytime we see a big name prospect coming out of a smaller school or a smaller conference. But I don't think it's an issue because just everything is there. He checks all the boxes: the pocket presence, the poise, the release, and the freakishly good ball placement on some of his throws, even deeper
Arm talent,
throws.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, it is ridiculous, and it's something that impressed me because I knew he was good, but he was better than I thought. I
Josh
think
Allen.
he's got all the potential to be great. And last year, I feel like people were kind of throwing the term Mahomes comparison around with Jordan Love. I didn't see it at all. I saw Jameis Winston and Jordan Love, but when people were throwing it around with Zach Wilson, the term Mahomes comparison, I
really
do
see
see it.
it.
I
I
do
really
see it.
do.
Just with the way he moves in the pocket, the way he can improvise some of those plays on the run. He did some shovel passes. Am I taking too much time? I mean, I don't know how much detail you want about Zach Wilson, but I'll stop there. I know we got a lot to get to.
Anyway, okay. Last
Really great potential, great arm talent. We all like Zach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good way to sum it up.
yes, and his release also. I don't know if we mentioned that. Is awesome.
Yeah, lot
The
to like.
giver.
Quick
lot to
release.
like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Last one we got to talk about before we get into our
You didn't hear
rankings
my joke?
is Mac
You
Jones.
said the giver.
Yeah, I got it. Mac Jones, not the most beautiful one of these guys to watch in terms of what he's able to do,
to say something else.
because he's not very flashy, but he gets the job done. I heard Chris Sims say this on his podcast when he was doing his rankings, and he said Mac Jones is very much like a machine. It's the same thing with the mechanics over and over and over again. And that's true. Sometimes it results in some inconsistencies, but that's definitely fixable for him because his mechanics have been consistent. I think he's a guy that could be developed into a great player. I
Yeah.
know there's some parts that he could definitely work on, and like I said, he's not the most flashy quarterback out of this draft class for sure. He's probably the least flashy out of the other four guys that we've talked about. But I think if you're just talking about pure talent that he could have just throwing the ball, Mac Jones is one of the guys that's up there.
Yeah, and I know Jordan loves when we say this, kind of see some Tom Brady in him. I know you just love when we compare him to that, right?
Yeah. I get the comparison. I just don't see the potential to be as great as Tom Brady. Of course, it's not.
Well, I'm
easy
not
to
saying he's
as
going to
great
be
as
the
Tom
GOAT. It's
Brady.
just the way he's
No, but
the
I'll
way
let
he
you keep
has
going.
presence in the
No,
pocket. That's what I'm saying.
I understand that with Mac Jones, and I do like the machine comparison, but I don't think it's this new, what is it, like fourth industrial revolution that we're in right now or something like that, machine that's being made. I think it's something towards the first industrial revolution. I think that
History lesson over here.
I know, right? I can't tell you much more than that. Something about textile factories. Am I right?
You're
I
saying
don't
more
know.
than I know.
We haven't got there this year yet. We're still in like
I'll
19.
tell you what, I'm losing.
Or, well, I guess
I'm
losing
losing
track
track.
here.
Yeah.
We'll probably move on to the
Anyway.
rankings soon.
Anyway, so Mac Jones had a fantastic season with Alabama last year. There's no denying that. But my questions are there just because of the offense that's around him. And I know that's an argument that some people don't like to hear. And I was saying that last year against Tua. I was like, I don't need that argument. Tua's great. But then Tua had a year that I wasn't too happy with. So it makes me be a bit iffy about Mac Jones just because of that. I do think he is, I'm going to say it again, I think he's like that machine. I think it's a great comparison. But even a machine could miss some throws just because you can do the same thing doesn't mean it's going to go to the exact same spot. I think he knows the game. I think he loves the game. I think just because of that, I've heard him say a lot of things about how much he loves football and all that about studying. So I do think that Mac Jones is similar to Tom Brady in that way, that he knows a heck of a lot about football. He loves to play the game, and he is a very pocket pressing guy. I just don't think he has the same talent that Tom Brady has, and it's a tough evaluation for me coming out of such a great school. I hope the best for Mac Jones, but he's not my highest rated guy.
Yeah, we only got another hour here.
Okay, so let's get into the rankings. We'll do it quickly because we talked about the guys for a pretty long time. I'll start off, and it's gonna be with a bit of surprise. We'll start with 5, and we'll work our way down to 1. So at number 5, I have Trey Lance. I do think, like I said early on in the video, I think he has the potential to be one of the better quarterbacks in this draft. If he gets in the right system, the 49ers, I think, could be that. But why I have him at 5 is just because the development that I see from him, it needs some work. I see some things that can be worked on, but he just kind of seems like a college quarterback to me at this point that is starting to change into the NFL type quarterback. He just needs to be with the right system. We're going to go quickly. Justin Fields, number 4, I have him. I mentioned he's been in some bigger time games. That's probably why I have him a bit higher. He's made those big mistakes as well. He had some great games as well. Justin Fields is kind of on and off, but you can definitely see why NFL teams would like him. I know some people have him really high in their draft order, and some people have him really low. Me personally, I have him really low. Mac Jones is number 3 for me. Like I said, he's kind of like a machine. There's some inconsistencies there, but I like the mechanics of him. I think if he could consistently do that, he'll be able to find ways to fix those problems that he has. Really, any system, I think he can do that. He just needs some good NFL coaching. Number 2 is where it gets interesting. I have Trevor Lawrence as my number 2 quarterback, and before you go down and comment and be like, you're insane, I want you to go check out our podcast where I rank them on my podcast. You go watch that, see my full-on description of it, then you can come down and tell me I'm insane.
The Touchdown Table, Spotify, Apple Podcast, anywhere that you watch your podcast, or listen, I should say.
That's exactly right. Trevor Lawrence, I think, is going to go number 1 overall still. I think the Jaguars are going to take him. I think he deserves to go number 1 overall. He's that good. In any other draft, he would be a number 1 overall pick. And I think if he goes number 1 overall, I've said that a lot, I would not be upset in any way because I absolutely see why. But I have Zach Wilson at number 1 because I see pure talent in this guy. I see Patrick Mahomes-like ability. I really think he can be that good. He's so awesome to watch. He's so fun. I mean, we saw that throw at his pro day even, and no one's standing near him. But it's awesome stuff.
Did you see that rush that was coming at him? It's like a full step towards it.
Yeah. That's a whole other story. But Zach Wilson makes throws consistently that I just go, how the heck did you do that? I see greatness in this guy. I really like Zach Wilson, so that's my top 5. Let's move on to Ryan. We'll go quickly like I did, and then top out the video with Jordan's.
All right, so my number 5 quarterback in this draft, and by the way, I have first-round grades on all these guys. Just want to clarify. You do too, right?
Yes.
Okay, I think we all do. Just want to clarify that.
I'm just making sure the video is still going.
Yeah, we don't want to do that again.
We've had some mistakes. If you've seen us before, we've had some mistakes.
Yeah, so
We're good.
anyway, my number 5 quarterback in this year's draft class is Justin Fields. Again, there's a lot to like, but also there's just a lot of concerns with the inconsistency with some decision making. And I mean, the deep ball, it has potential, but it's also very inconsistent. There's some underthrows, and again, just under pressure, I really feel like he just kind of gets a little reckless.
Like the screw.
Yeah, and that's what you can't have, especially at the NFL level. Sometimes in college, I feel like you get away with that more. I think there's potential. I think he could be a solid starter if properly developed. I think there's athletic talent there. I think he knows the game well. There's just some inconsistencies that I think need to be worked on. And honestly, it's not so much against him. It's just I really like some of these other guys and see a lot of potential in some of these other guys towards the top of my list, which we'll get to later. So it's more pro them than anti Justin Fields. I still think Justin Fields is a first-round player. But anyway, number 4 is Mac Jones. Mac Jones is a guy that I really think has good vision, good decision making. He knows something good when he sees it. Yeah, he can fit balls into tight windows for sure. And I really think that with him, it's not always the coolest highlight reel play, but he's someone who knows the ability of himself, uses the talent around him well. He's not going to try and be Superman and throw like 800 yards and be he's not going to try and steal the show. He uses the talent around him well. He takes what the defense gives him, and it sounds kind of boring, but a lot of times it works.
It's
and
what you need.
Yeah, and it worked for Alabama and their road to the national championship. Obviously, they had a lot of other talented players that will be going to the NFL. But even look at like when the Patriots were winning all their Super Bowls with Tom Brady. It wasn't always the prettiest things. It was just take what the defense gives you, take advantage of the other team's mistakes, and just take it from there. And that's how they won a lot. And yeah, Mac Jones, not always the prettiest or not always the best, but he gets the job done when need be. Number 3 is Trey Lance. This is a guy that I see a lot of potential in, still very raw, needs to be developed. I really don't think he should be starting week 1. I think he needs to sit behind a Jimmy Garoppolo or a Teddy Bridgewater or somebody
Someone
else.
actually good.
Well, it's not even
Teddy
about,
Bridgewater is good.
well, it's not so much
come
more about
on.
who they're sitting
I
behind.
haven't been shy
It's about
about my hate
it's
for
about
Jimmy
the
Garoppolo.
idea of sitting behind someone, not so
That's
much
true.
who it
We're
is.
It's not
way
hate.
past that
It's just
Yeah.
I don't like his game. I don't hate
Okay.
you, Jimmy.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Get back to Mac.
No,
If you go to the
or-
Patriots,
I'm
I
on
might
Trey.
like you.
Trey, get
Yeah.
back to Trey.
No, with Trey Lance, so I do think he's a guy that should take some time before starting. Maybe whether it's a whole year like we had with Patrick Mahomes, or basically a whole year, or just 4 games. I think that Trey Lance, the sky's the limit for him. All the athletic tools are there. The arm strength is there. The decision making is there. The mobility is there. And like I said earlier, he's just barely scratching the surface. Only 1 year in a run heavy offense. And I really think that the sky's the limit for Trey Lance. He's my number 3 quarterback. Now, before I get to 2 and 1, I want to say this is where there's a little bit of a gap. I think these 2 guys are really in a league of their own. Number 2 is Zach Wilson. I actually did have a tougher time than expected, or than I
You almost
expected.
joined me on this.
I almost did, and I wanted to, but I just said no. I can't do something just to do it. I have to
Can't
say
not do
what
it.
I
I
think.
promise you I didn't do it. Just
No,
to do
I'm
it.
not.
I
I'm not
become
saying.
more
I'm not
confident
saying.
by the day.
No.
that
I'm
gonna
not
do
saying.
that.
I'm not saying you
No,
did.
no.
But I want to be clear. Let me be clear now. I really think that Zach Wilson is a guy that is so talented. Just the throws, the ball placement, the calmness in the pocket. I don't care who you're playing. I don't care if it's Coastal Carolina or Clemson. I don't care who you're playing. That's just natural talent, like Tyler mentioned. That's what he has. And I went, back and forth with Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence, but at the end of the day, I decided that Trevor Lawrence is my number 1 quarterback. We talked about him, been the presumptive number 1 pick in the 2021 draft for almost 3 years. The talent, the consistency, the arm strength, the pocket presence, the underrated mobility that Jordan mentioned. Trevor Lawrence is the safe number 1 pick. Zach Wilson's tempting, but I did go with Trevor Lawrence at number 1 in my QB rankings.
All right. I'll go quicker than these two.
Do like 30 seconds per because we're getting.
So we start at 5. I'm gonna go Mac Jones. You heard what I said about him before. I do like him. I think that
How
he
dare
is a first round talent, although late first round. I think he'll need to sit, as will I think 4 and 3, and I would think they'll need to sit for a year. He'll definitely need to be in the right system. He's one that if he's not in the right system, it's not going to go well. I just don't think that a team that's running a more mobile system is going to insert Mac Jones.
I think if you're running a more mobile system, you're not drafting. Mac
Well,
Jones.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like a Patriots is a good one,
Yes.
but also their offense. I don't know
Wherever
what's
Mac
going
Jones
on with
ends up is going to be
mean-
somewhat good because they know what they're getting with him. You're not drafting Mac Jones to try and roll him out of the pocket on a bootleg and throw it.
I'm just saying,
NFL.
NFL offenses are changing
I
from
get
that
what
more
you're
pocket passer guy to guys like Mahomes and Allen, these younger guys who are taking this league by storm. Lamar Jackson will be thrown there. It's just the game is evolving, and some coordinators are still old school, and if you are, I don't disagree with that because I like old school stuff. I'm a conservative guy. Anyways, next one, I have Trey Lance at 4. I think that Trey Lance and Justin Fields are very close. It's just a lack of film on Trey Lance. I do like his athletic ability, though. So that is number 4. Number 3 is Justin Fields. I think he needs to sit. I didn't say this comparison before, mainly because I just thought of it a few minutes ago. But I do feel like Justin Fields is going to be similar to a less athletic Kyler Murray, just the games he plays. I kind of see that in him.
He doesn't run like him though.
Exactly. That's why I said less athletic, and he does
No,
not
he
run
doesn't-
like
he
he's
doesn't-
at one of
yeah,
the 7 dwarfs.
yeah.
So
Kyler Murray-
that's
he
where I have
doesn't
Justin Fields
waddle.
falling. Number 2, I have I almost said Mac Wilson. Zach Wilson.
Browns linebacker.
Yeah,
There
I
you
know. I have Zach Wilson at 2. I think that if he gets some time to properly develop, as I said before, the sky is the limit for Zach Wilson. He just needs the right system and the right people to develop him for a year or 2. And then at number 1, I am born Trevor Lawrence, like most people have, just because he's the most NFL-ready guy. He's been good for so long, and it's disrespectful for me to put him anywhere but 1, just because of the college career that he has
I'm not
had.
disrespecting him, by the way.
And Trevor Lawrence, the long-haired freak, at number 1. You're not a freak, Trevor. Well, you're a freak of nature because you're so good at football. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, both Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence have proven that they are that. But this year's a fun year of quarterbacks.
Ryan's a freak too. Just a different kind of freak. Tyler, you're not off that list either.
Thank you.
And neither am I, actually.
Yeah, I think,
We're all freaks.
yeah, we're a table of freaks here.
There you go.
Touchdown Table. But I think
Get freaky.
this year is a bit freaky with these quarterbacks because it's so mixed up everyone's got quarterbacks in different places. Last year was kind of just the top 3 guys, and now you got these 5 guys in all different orders. It's really fun this year, so we wanted to give you guys a video talking about what we think about these quarterbacks. Let us know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Also, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, go check out our podcast. Ryan and I both have longer descriptions of the top 7 quarterbacks. Did you 6 or 7?
I did 5.
You did 5.
Yeah.
I did 7 quarterbacks. So go check those out if you want more.
Kellen
Talk
Mond,
about these
Kyle
quarterbacks.
Trask.
Those are my 6 and 7 that Jordan just named off. Thanks once again for watching this video, and with that, we will see you guys later.
See ya.